Hi everyone, welcome to Gallant IAS. This is Let's Score 120 Plus in Prelims 2021 series. And here we'll be learning a model question from Indian polity, and through that we'll help you to learn some core facts and concepts to help your prelims preparation. And the question for today is, consider the following regarding the ordinance making power of the President of India. Article 123 of the Constitution empowers the President to promulgate ordinances during the recess of Parliament. 2. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976 made the satisfaction of President beyond judicial review. The President can issue ordinance only on those subjects on which the Parliament can make laws. The ordinance making power is one of the discretionary powers of the President of India. Find the not correct statements. So regarding ordinance making power, Article 123 empowers the President to make an ordinance when there is a recess in the Parliament. So statement number 1 is correct only. So when either of the house is not in session, the President can promulgate an ordinances. That's correct only. Regarding 2, it is not 42nd Amendment Act. It was the 38th Amendment Act which made the satisfaction of President beyond judicial review. But this provision was subsequently deleted by the 44th Amendment Act. So 38th Amendment Act said that the ordinance making power of President is beyond judicial review, and this was deleted by the 44th Amendment Act. That is, the satisfaction of President is subjected to judicial review on the ground of malafide. Fine. So statement number 2 is wrong here. 3 says that the President can issue ordinance only on those subjects on which the Parliament can make laws. Exactly. The ordinance making power of President is coexistent with the law-making power of the Parliament. On which all the subjects, on which all matters the Parliament can make laws, subject to that conditions only, the President can also issue ordinances. So statement number 3 is correct. 4 says that ordinance making power is one of the discretionary powers of the President of India. Not at all. The President can promulgate an ordinances on the 8th and advice of Council of Ministers only. It is not a discretionary power. Discretionary power means the person himself or herself can take some decisions. No. That is what we mean by discretionary power. But the ordinance making power is not a discretionary power. Why? Because the President has to promulgate ordinance based on the aid and advice of Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister only. So 4 is wrong here. Since we have to find out the not correct answer, our answer becomes 2 and 4. That is, option C is our answer. Okay. Consider the following statements. The governor of a state can also be appointed as the administrator of any adjoining union territory. The President of India is not vested with the qualified veto, but it is possessed by the President of USA. Find the correct statement. So regarding the governor can be appointing as a administrator union territory, the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act provided that a governor of a state, a person can be appointed as governor of more than one state also. Also a governor of a state can be also appointed as a administrator of adjoining union territory, not an issue. It is mentioned under 74th Amendment Act. So statement number 1 is correct. I repeat, a person can be appointed as governor of more than one state, not an issue. Or governor can be appointed as a administrator of adjoining union territory also, not an issue. This is under 7th Amendment Act. Okay. And 2 says that the President of India is not vested with the qualified veto. See, normally there are 4 kinds of vetoes. Absolute veto, suspensive veto, qualified veto, and pocket veto. Absolute veto means withholding the bill, nothing but rejecting the bill. Suspensive veto means it can be overridden by a ordinary majority. That is, President sending back the bill for reconsideration of the Parliament, again coming back with or without amendments by the ordinary majority itself, then the President must sign. That is suspensive veto. Qualified veto means overriding by a higher majority. Okay. Higher majority. That means the President sending back the bill for legislature, coming back, but again the legislature has to pass with a higher majority and not with the previous majority. With a higher majority has to pass, then sending back to the President. That is what we qualified veto. Pocket veto means taking no action, keeping the bill pending indefinitely for a long period. This is what my pocket veto. And please note that Indian president enjoys absolute veto, suspensive veto, and pocket veto. These three vetoes are enjoyed by Indian president. This qualified veto is not enjoyed by Indian president, but American president can use this qualified veto. Now come back to the question. The President of India is not vested with qualified veto, but it is possessed by the President of USA. That statement is correct only. So note down these differences. So both the statements are correct here. Answer becomes option C, that is both 1 and 2. Okay. Which among the following statements regarding the office of Prime Minister is correct? A. The Constitution has specific procedure for the selection and appointment of the Prime Minister. B. The person must prove his majority in the Lok Sabha before he is appointed as the Prime Minister. C. The term of office of Prime Minister is fixed to 5 years. D. The Constitution of United Kingdom mandates that the Prime Minister has to be from the lower house. Okay, so regarding the selection and appointment of Prime Minister, there is no clear-cut procedure for the selection and appointment of Prime Minister. Okay, Article 75 says that Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President. This is what said in our Constitution, that is, Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President of India. This doesn't mean that President of India can appoint anyone as the Prime Minister, no. Usually, the President appoints the leader of the single largest party or the single largest party in coalition as the Prime Minister. But in case if President could not find any such person, then the President can ask President can appoint anyone as Prime Minister and ask him or to her to prove the majority in the Lok Sabha within a reasonable period of time. First of all, the President appoints a person as the Prime Minister, then ask him or her to prove the majority in the Lok Sabha within a reasonable period of time. This is how the Prime Minister is appointed in our country. Okay, A says that the Constitution has specific procedure for the selection and appointment of Prime Minister. Constitution does not have any specific procedure. Article 75 only says that the President shall be appointed, the Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President of India. So A is wrong here. Regarding option B, the person must prove his majority in the Lok Sabha before he is appointed as Prime Minister. No. First of all, the President appoints a person as the Prime Minister, then only asking him or her to prove the majority in a reasonable period of time. So B is also wrong here. See, the term of office of Prime Minister is fixed to 5 years. No, the term is not fixed. The office of Prime Minister is subjected to the pleasure of the President. See, as long as the Prime Minister enjoys the majority in the Lok Sabha, he can continue to be there in office. But see, if a no confidence motion is passed, okay, then the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers has to resign. So there is no fixed term of 5 years for the Prime Minister. Okay, but as long as he enjoys the confidence Lok Sabha, he can continue to hold in office. But the moment a no confidence motion is passed, then he has to resign. Fine. So option C is also wrong. So answer is option D, that is, the Constitution of UK mandates that the Prime Minister has to be from the lower house. Exactly. See, in India, Prime Minister can be from either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. That is either lower house or the upper house, not an issue. But in United Kingdom, the Prime Minister has to be from the lower house. Fine. So answer is option D.